Welcome back to TechniqueWOD. I'm Doug Larson here with my friend Kenzie Stewart. Today we're talking about bent knee hip extensions on the GHD. I like bent knee hip extensions on the GHD for a lot of reasons. It's not so common, especially in kind of functional fitnessy gyms, to do a lot of terminal hip extension work. There's a lot of hinging, there's a lot of squatting, etc. And those are great movements, but they don't really work on the end-to-end range hip extension, and specifically beyond that, hip hyperextension, which if you're someone that plays a lot of field sports, you do a lot of full speed sprinting. This last little bit where your foot's on the ground and you're going into hip hyperextension, you're getting a very strong glute contraction through here, like when you're sprinting, is really, really important. Moreover, if you get to the top of the deadlift and you can't get that last little bit of glute contraction, you end up having your glutes turned off, so to speak, and you're hyperextending your back because you can't have your glutes pull yourself into that posterior pelvic tilt to protect your back and to finish the lift. Then these types of movements, the bent knee variation on the GHD of hip extensions, is a great option. So to start with, you're probably more familiar with a straight knee variation on the GHD. That's the right setting. Yeah. So a basic hip extension on GHD, probably seen this a million times. You're bending at the hip, keeping your back straight, you're coming up, you're squeezing your glutes at the top. This is an awesome movement. You definitely should do this on occasion, depending on what your programming looks like and why you're doing it. But today we're gonna do a slight variation on that, where if Kenzie hops off, usually what people see as far as glute bridging or terminal hip extension work would be like a glute bridge on the ground, like Kenzie's gonna demo. So she has a bent knee and she's getting the full hip extension and squeezing her glutes all the way at the top. You could do this with a barbell or a kettlebell. You know, she could hold a kettlebell, you know, right over her stomach and do repetitions like that, or put a barbell across her hips. And those are great variations as well. But today, very similar to this and similar to the first variation, like that, and like that. Kenzie's gonna demo a bent knee hip extension. So you probably have to move the back of the supports for your feet up forward just a little bit. You can see her knee is at about a 90-degree angle. She's starting the movement, full hip extension. You want her ribs down, that way she's not hyperextending her back, and then she's just gonna bend all the way at the hip. So she's all the way down. Okay, back is still nice and flat. She's only bending at the hip. The knee angle's not changing. She's coming up to the top, squeezing her glutes at the top. Beautiful. And then if she wants to load it, she can just reach down and grab, you know, one kettlebell, two kettlebells. I suppose depending on where your handles are on your GHDs, you might be able to hold a barbell. And if you've never done these before, go and hop down. If you've never done these before, they are very likely to fucking smoke your glutes. They're gonna make you have a glute pump like you've never had a glute pump before, which is kind of a fun feeling, and it's gonna make your glutes sore, and that's gonna feel fantastic. So yeah, the glute bridges on the ground are very, very similar. These, I think there's a little more of a learning curve involved with how to keep your back tight with that, with your knee bent, just like learning an RDL. There's a little bit of practice involved with how low to go, and some people can't feel their back rounding. Their coach is saying your back's rounding and they're like, I don't feel it. So there's a little bit of practice involved. It's nice if you can have someone watch you or have a coach record the movement for you, and then you can kind of talk through it together. But it was an awesome movement. I don't see a whole lot of people doing it, but I've done a lot of it, and I really, really like it. So I highly recommend it to you if you want to incorporate more glute work / terminal hip extension work into your training. 3 sets of 10 to 15, or even sometimes higher reps for glutes work really, really well for putting on muscle mass and getting all the way to fatigue and fatiguing those last few fibers to grow your glutes as much as you can, which, who doesn't want bigger glutes? Nobody wants a flat ass. So try it out. Let me know what you think about it, what you like about it, what you don't like about it, and if you want me to do any variations in the future that you've come up with on your own or that you've seen on the internet, happy to do that. You can follow me on Instagram, Douglas E. Larson. Follow us on Shrugged Collective on Instagram, and then shruggedcollective.com has links to all of our shows. So check it out. Let us know what you think. We'll see you next week.
Welcome to the Shrugged Collective Program Vault. Over the last 6 years, we've been leading the charge in online strength and conditioning programming and coaching. And for the first time in the history of the Shrugged Collective, we're combining our 11 best-selling long-term and short-term accessory programs into one membership site called the Program Vault. From Olympic weightlifting to strongman, leaning out, nutrition, you name it, our 11 best-selling programs are yours for $47 a month. Get to shruggedcollective.com/vault, and you will find immediate access to our 11 best-selling strength and conditioning programs.